Today, I'm speaking with media law attorney Ian Rosenberg, adjunct professor at Brooklyn College who has more than 25 years of experience specializing in First Amendment and libel law. We're talking about his new book, Terrible Stuff Damaging Everybody, The True Story of Lies and Libel in Dominion v. Fox, slated to publish September 1st by the NYU Press.
Some critics have called for the Supreme Court to revisit or to overturn New York Times versus Sullivan's actual malice standard, arguing that it makes it too hard to hold the press accountable. But what struck me is that you wrote that Fox's efforts to cloak itself in the protective garment of Sullivan was an awkward fit, and that to essentially claim that amplifying government propaganda should be given the same First Amendment breathing room as criticizing the government is turning the intent of Sullivan on its head. And that really struck me as a powerful way of describing how the Dominion versus Fox case kind of fits into the larger discussion of actual malice and what that means for the news media in 2026 and moving forward. I mean, can you tell me a little bit more about that and kind of your thought process behind framing it that way?
Sure. Well, and as I know you know, but just for viewers, so the actual malice standard is, the name is misleading. What it really means is you need a false statement of fact that is being said either that is knowingly false, so a lie, or with reckless disregard for the truth, that you're sort of refusing to look at evidence that's right in front of you. And there's a lot of evidence about that. But you also point out the great irony of Fox trying to hold on to this defense, which was their only potential defense. And the irony is that, as you point out, the libel standards, the actual malice standards, which comes from the case New York Times versus Sullivan, have been under attack by conservatives for years. And primarily Justice Thomas, also Justice Gorsuch to a more limited degree, but they have been advocating sort of that the Supreme Court take up the Sullivan standard and overturn it for years. And sort of Gorsuch's argument is indeed, as you point out, that well, we can't hold the media accountable. It's just too impossible. The standard protects everyone. It's essentially a blanket indemnity. And what this case shows, and why I think it was always foolish of Fox and its general counsel Viet Din, although he is a brilliant guy, I always thought it was foolish for them to think that the Supreme Court would save them in the future, because this case actually proves how the standard is necessary, and this case shows conservatives trying to hold on to it, and this case also shows that the media could be held accountable. So in many ways, it was, as I mentioned in the book, a sort of terrible fit, both for Fox as a defense and for something for even conservatives to want to bring to the court. This was not the case that was going to overturn Sullivan, and Fox should have known that and inexplicably never really took that into consideration until the last minute.